Right then, everyone, it's that time of the week again, isn't it? A Sunday afternoon, so it is time for another stream. Do remember to subscribe and like the stream if you are enjoying it, and if you think you will enjoy it. And if you could share a video or two of mine to someone you know, then that would be most appreciated. You know, it helps get the messages my channel provides out there, and you know, it's just nice to see a couple of new subscribers come and join every time I look at the subscriber count, and also sharing information. It helps all of us. So hello everyone and welcome back to another stream from my channel Highbrook Railway. Today we are doing a flipping long trains, or flipping massive trains as the title says. As you can see here, the trains are so long that they can't fit on the camera. Got the 66 with 2 Virgin coaches, 2 Blood and Custards, 2 Maroons, and then at the end the Virgin Break. And here we've got the 4F, container, some wagons, another container, some wagons, another container, a wagon and a brake van and a 9F on the back of it. So obviously you can't see that, but as the cameras move around you will see that. So today is flipping massive trains only, and that's what we're going to be doing. So if you want to put a request in, then do check the description, because the only condition for requests on today's stream is obviously flipping massive trains. So you can't, for example, have the Great Western 101 with just a wagon behind it, because that's not a long train, is it? They've got to be long trains. Long trains, I'd say, is more than 4 coaches or more than about 7 wagons or stuff like that. This probably counts as 3 wagons, but, you know, just long trains in general for today's stream. Do let me know in the chat if audio and video is all okay. Can you see the trains? Can you hear me? Of course. And can you please bear in mind that comments from the live chat that you post on YouTube side take a while to come through to StreamYard, because obviously it's a third-party software and it's using internet, so obviously it takes a while to come through. And similarly, it might take time for me actually speaking live for it to go through to you as well. So just be mindful of that. Today's stream should be about an hour and 15 minutes long. I'm probably slightly less than that today. Probably going on till about 6, so about an hour and 5 we've got today, which isn't too bad. So I will roll the intro and I'll see you shortly. Right, there we are. That was the intro all done with. So I'll take you through the trains we've got today. We've got the 66, the Virgin coaches, 2 Blood and Custards there, two Maroon coaches, and then the Virgin Break on the back. So that's the first train, hauled by yours truly, the Class 66. I did try originally putting the Virgin 47 behind it, but the only problem with that was the fact that it's just not heavy enough. This one weighs about 0.5 kilogram, I think. I am doing a re-review of all my old reviews that I've done, so I will, you know, weigh it and review it to the same standards before, you know, I'll change it to be my new standards rather than the old review standards. And the train here is the Airfix 4F, P&O container, open wagon and a cattle wagon. Obviously it's got its missing roof, but I'm not really bothered. Container wagon, open wagon filled with stone, Robert's coal hopper, open wagon, insulfish, open wagon, container, another van that's missing its roof, brake van, and then the 9F. So they're the trains we've got today. As I say, requests are open. If you do want a train to run, put it in the chat. Obviously, as I've put in the comments there, make sure to read the description. And I've turned the control the wrong way because I realise it's a dual direction knob on the controller, not a switch to change the direction. So anyway, if you do want a request, put it in the chat and I'll do it. Obviously, read the description, but effectively it is long trains only. As usual, we've got 3 cameras. That's the other camera there, and that's the other camera there. And as you know, as in the video, these two, the other 2 cameras are still phones. This one is a webcam. I did say last week that we might have been on OBS this week and doing a proper stream just with this camera, because obviously I can't connect phones to OBS as far as I know. So we're not, because my friend, who I did Tuesday's video with, I believe, his dad is still, power washing, factory resetting the laptop. Obviously, you might say, oh, it doesn't take that long. However, obviously, he's got to it's an old laptop, but he's got to transfer any files that he wants to keep off that and make sure he can power wash it before losing all of his data. So that is something to be careful of. But maybe next week we might do a test stream on OBS just with this camera here and see how it goes, because I don't want to start implementing 3 webcams into it if I can't even control one. So we shall get going. As you can see, and as is also mentioned in the description, the middle line is out of use today. As you can see, there are no cameras, no trains anywhere on the layout. That is simply because if we're running extra long trains, then I haven't got enough rolling stock to facilitate running 3 long trains at once. So I've chosen to do outer and inner lines that are going to run today. In fact, the only piece of rolling stock that I haven't got on are my 3 Pullman carriages. Obviously, I could chuck this one on. For some reason, I didn't actually. That's a bit stupid of me. I've got a coach. Why don't I use it? But the other 2 are in bits, still awaiting lighting, putting into them, as I mentioned, in various streams. So I'll set the first train off and going. There we go. And when it comes around here, I shall stop it and put the Pullman carriage on. Just be aware that you may or may not see the Pullman carriage flickering in today's video. That's simply because in the ballasted sections here, little bits of glue and water get onto the rails and dry on them. So that will obviously affect the continuity. So you might see it flickering. That's not my shoddy handiwork. I'm not saying that my handiwork is shoddy. I'm just saying it's not my handiwork being shoddy. Simply the fact that the track over there has got bits of glue on, affects conductivity. And also over here, well, in fact, everywhere the track does need a good rub down with the old Pico track rubber. So if you see it flickering, that's why. Kurt, the model shed, thank you very much for joining. Very nice to see you here. As I've said in that comment, just make sure to check the description for details of requests. Got 4 people in. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Just had a cough. Surprise cough there. Anyway, do check the description, and the other 3 people who are in the chat, if you could comment, that would be much appreciated. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Kurt. How are you doing? We're still in the subscriber race, aren't we? I'm on 218. You're on 221, I think. Me and you are still in the race, aren't we? Be interesting to see, though. It's interesting to see fluctuations with channels that are on the same subscriber rate as you. Let me guess, Kurt, are you going to pick the Virgin 47 for one of our flipping massive trains today? I could bet money that you will, unless now I've said that you're not going to do it. But anyway, 66, take it away. I won't do the trains too fast either, because if I have a derailment, then it'll probably knock every single part of the train over, which is not good. In fact, on the third camera, you can see the back of the 9F there, can't you? And then I'll set the 4F and its freight train with the 9F, nice and slowly. Okie dokie, Kurt, I shall do that for you when these two have gone. I just, as I said earlier, just haven't got enough rolling stock at the moment to run 3 flipping massive trains at once. Yep. We both like that Virgin 47, don't we? Obviously, you've got a more modern one than mine, and probably slightly better, to be fair. But we both like us Virgin. Oh, massive derailment. Before I sort that out, Kurt said he has to go. Thanks for joining, Kurt. It's very short, but nice to see you here. And I'll still run your request for you, since he was the first to put one in there. So thank you for watching. I know it was short, but see you later, and I'll do your request after this. Massive derailment there. I don't know why. I have got a little bit of talking about this ballast on this side here, which you might notice is a bit, it's not as wide as it used to be, but all will be revealed. I think it's some loose stones in here from when I was fiddling around with ballast earlier. Some of it still needs taking off. 66 is surprisingly doing quite well. To say it's got 8 coaches now. Obviously, that just looks ridiculous with my tiny platforms. But I really couldn't, add any more. I'm going to put the brake van at the back because it's causing some issues. I think for maximum, sort of realistic amount of coaches I can have and still be able to fit it in the station and it look kind of properly, it's maybe 5 or 6. Obviously, I haven't got a massive layout and I haven't got the facilities for running 10, 11 coach trains, have I? But 4 is sort of looks okay, even with a big Pacific like Tornado or Golden Eagle or Flying Scotsman. 4 on my layout still looks okay, but maximum is probably 5 or 6. There's just no way to have, no real way to have 3 tracks and fit in really long platforms. Obviously, I could have done 1 platform and had it been really long, but that wouldn't have really worked. I've realised what the problem is. It's not the brake van. It is this wagon. The flanges on this wagon, as you can see, are really quite thick, so it causes problems like over points, especially because there's 2 sets of points on the second radius line over here. Because the flanges are really thick, causes issues. I have got other Triang wagons. That brown one with the missing roof's a Triang wagon. That Inselfish one's a Triang wagon. It just seems that this one causes a lot of problems. Maybe because it's quite light. It's not as hasn't got as much metal in as the other 2 for some reason. It feels more plasticky, which is a bit odd. Kurt, you're back. Good to see you. Never mind, I thought my mum wanted me to do something. Oh well, good to have you back. You get to watch your request after all. I might do, you know. Obviously, focus on at the moment is ballasting. However, in the future, I am looking to replace all my old coaches with metal wheels, because that means weaker trains like the my 04s I have can obviously haul more because the rolling resistance is less. So I'll point the ones out. Well, one of the Virgin coaches has got plastic wheels for some reason. That one I'm going to put metal wheels in. That one, and that one are going to have metal wheels in. And then probably the containers are going to have metal wheels in as well. Obviously the tiny little wagons, the open wagons, I'm not bothered about metal wheels. But, you know, I might upgrade to all metal in the future. Just, you know, big items are rolling stock, you know, sort of containers. I'm not bothered about every single wagon I have having metal wheels unless it's causing problems like that one I've just shown you. But big items like containers and coaches do need to have metal wheels. Obviously, I just need to find the right size. Obviously, the Pullman one has metal wheels because that's how it picks up its electricity. It came with that, obviously, when my grandma bought them. Well, me and my grandma bought them. Not actually flickering as much as I thought. It's not actually flickering over points anymore. Normally it flickered over this point and that were about it, but it doesn't seem to be flickering over this point anymore, which is good because it used to. But as you can see, it is sort of flickering around there. Maybe I can put some Vaseline on the back of the wheel because that's conductive and it's like a lubricant. Supposedly helps pickups, obviously helps pickups to get power easier because it's conductive and it's a bit like a lubricant. Might try that, but obviously that needs track rubbing to get all the glue off. Sounds good, Kurt. We all have different hobbies, don't we? Obviously, I've got other hobbies than model trains, but it is my main hobby. So, yeah, that's fair enough. 1 to 24 scale. Interesting. So if you had a 24 meter long car in real life, then you'd have a 1 meter long model. It's quite a big scale, is that, isn't it? Well, it's a third bigger than OO. Oh no, OO's 1 to 76, and it's roughly a third bigger, isn't it? What's O scale? I can never remember. O scale is 1 to 43. So double O is 1 to 76. HO is 1 to 87, but with the same track width. Double O is 1 to 76. O is 1 to 43, and N, I know I'm going in wrong order here. N is 1 to 148 to 1 to 160, depending on manufacturer. Interesting. Oh, N scale Wickham trolley. That's just appeared in a photo. That is, that is small. And I thought the double O N scale Wickham trolley, the double O scale Wickham trolley was small. Look at that. I'm aware you can't see it, but it's absolutely tiny. It's almost cute. I mean, I don't even know how you'd fit a motor in that. That would be difficult. I do not know how you would fit a motor in that. I mean, Bachmann only managed to fit a motor in the 001 because they had the motor in the tender. 1 to 18. Wow. That's even bigger. So that's like 4 times bigger. 4 1/5 times bigger. 4.2 times bigger than 00. So that's massive. I do as well, Kurt. it was a bit. It ran when I first got it. So when was it? 2020 Christmas. It ran well. Then it went through a period of running well, not running well, running well, not running well. Its wheels needed cleaning quite frequently because I just didn't clean them well enough the first time. It needed rewiring. As you know, I've still got a behind the scenes video on my website coming up. Website's still been upgraded. So I do. I am looking for another 66, obviously way off into the future when I've got most of the engines on my list of engines to get. I am looking to get a Freightliner one, whether that'll be a Bachmann one with the fancy lighting and directional lighting and cab lights, just for a change, or whether it'll be a Lima one, I don't know. Because the guy I bought it off, he actually gave me some nameplates that came with he gave me some extra nameplates that came with a Freightliner one, but he said, oh, these are in this box, because, you know, he doesn't necessarily sell new stuff. He takes things out of sets and puts them in other sets to make it up. So the 66 there and the containers came together in a pack, but obviously you would have never have been able to buy them together as Lima and Hornby individuals. So it basically just makes sets up. So that's how I got them too. And he said, oh, you know, there were the details, there were the vacuum pipes and all the front fitted detail. In fact, I only think I've been able to manage to figure out where the vacuum pipe's going on the 66. I haven't figured out where any of the other stuff goes yet. That might be a project for a rainy, boring day. But yeah, I do like it. It's a good runner as well. What is it shorting? Is it just not working? My Golden Eagle isn't working either. I think it needs some new brushes and springs. It's not working either. It intermittently works. I just think it's the brushes and springs that need sorting. So, yeah, sorry to hear that your 33 is not working. I think Lima engines just go through that stage. You know, you end up fixing, you know, you fix a problem, it works. Then there's another problem, and with Lima locos, you just keep fixing it until you've fixed all the problems. Okay, I'm going to stop the trains here. Perfect stop. You love to see it. And perfect stop. Hey, probably shouldn't clap in case of headphone users. Oh, you've got Mallard back. Your friend's dad were fixing it, wasn't he? Or was it OL Bill that were fixing it? I can't remember. But good to hear that you've got Mallard back. Hello, Pete. Thank you very much for joining. I haven't seen you in a while, but good to see you back on one of my streams again. How are you doing? Just check the description, Pete, because today, as you can see by the title, is Flipping Massive Trains. So today we're just running really, really long trains, and that's why I've only got 2 on, so the trains on here can be longer because I ain't got enough rolling stock for 3. So yeah, so nice to see you, Pete. If you want a request, you can put it in now, and I'll do it with Kurtz. About to put Kurtz on. The good thing about having an engine at the back of this train, by the way, is that because it's so long, I can push it forward like this. You know, I don't have to drag it by hand. I can push it forward manually. Pete says, thanks, George. And yeah, good, thank you. And you? Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Pete. Couldn't be better. Stream, by the way, for those of you wondering, if you're wondering, oh, how come the stream's only 25 minutes long? Because I started at 10 to 5 rather than 4:15, because my grandma was visiting because she hadn't seen us in a while. So that's why it started a bit later than normal. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to our bill. So I take it. Oh yeah, your friend's dad. Your friend's dad, yeah. I have indeed done a little bit more ballasting. I've actually removed some ballast here, which I'll be talking about shortly. In fact, I might as well talk about some of the things I've got to talk about. Whilst I'm ticking all the things I fancy at, so let me have a look at my list. So the first thing is actually, before we get onto that, yeah, I don't know what's happened to OOBill either. He seemed to have stopped uploading. He's not replying to comments saying where he'll be. I guess you could try emailing him, but I doubt he would respond. Maybe he's just that busy clearing, because on his website it says no more service requests because I have a backlog of trains. So maybe he's not doing videos, he's clearing the backlog of trains to fix, and then when his backlog of trains to fix has gone away, he'll then start making videos again. That seems logical, but often logical things can end up turning out illogical. Wow, that sounded like a quote. Yeah, I'm watching the stream on my TV today. Some cameras are good, but not all. Yeah, some won't be. This one might be bad, and probably this one might be bad. Maybe this one. The thing is, though, StreamYard limits to 720, and obviously if you blow that up on a massive screen, it doesn't end well. So the other two cameras that aren't this camera are going to be replaced by webcams eventually. Tell you what, this is a heavy train. It does peat. Very happy with that 66, just talking to Kurt about that. So anyway, ballast. As you can see, I've done a little bit more. Well, I haven't done any more ballasting. In fact, I've been subtracting from the ballasting. I think, Kurt, with the 47, I'm going to run all my red things. So that's 5 coaches there, so that's good. Which one's the worst, Kurt? Sorry. Is it this one? So number 1, number 2, or number 3? I'm expecting it'll be number 3, because that is the worst phone. Right, Kurt, what was I talking about? Ballast. I haven't done any actual ballasting or laying ballast or doing it anywhere else. I've actually been subtracting from the ballast. As you can see, it's a lot thinner. Over here, it's a lot thinner. As you can see over here, the height of the ballast has been dropped. I've chiselled some of that away. I've still got to chisel some of the ballast away on top of the sleepers over here, and I've also got to reduce the height of the ballast there by chiselling it off. Now, the reason I've reduced the height of the ballast is because track rubbering. If I get the track rubber, obviously I can't put it across sideways because it'll grate on the ballast, but I can clean the track by doing it that way. However, if I try and do it over here, all it does is just rubs on the ballast and tears bits off the track rubber. So I didn't realise that obviously I forgot. When I was ballasting, I thought, right, I'll get on ballasting. But of course, me being me, I completely forgot that, the track will get dirty and eventually it will have to be cleaned. So I completely forgot about the height of the ballast. I'm just focusing on getting it look nice. So me being me, put too much ballast on and now I can't clean my track. So as you can see on the second radius line, I've lowered the height of the ballast and got rid of the ones in between the sleepers. And I've dropped the height of the ballast, so I can clean here, but I can't clean over here because I need to chisel some height off the top of the ballast. As you can see, the track looks a lot more raised here, when here it kind of just looks sunk in, and it looks a bit like tram lines, which is not what we want. So that's why the ballast looks a little bit different. And over here, the reason why the ballast is thinner is because there's going to be a platform here. So the ballast will eventually end up being thinner here because there's going to be a platform here. It'll be thinner here because there's going to be a platform here. It'll be thinner here because there's going to be a platform, obviously. If there's a platform here, there's going to be a platform here. So eventually it'll be thinner here, here, and over here because this is also going to be a platform. Although this one on this side is pretty thin because I did this track last and thought, wait, there's going to be a platform on this side, so I best make it thin. Whereas on the other two, I just kind of not rushed into it, but was eager to get going with ballasting. So I forgot about that. So I've chiseled some of it away. Looks a bit untidy, but when the platform's against it, I'm making my own platforms, by the way. Talked about that last week. The wood that I use for the baseboards is the correct height. For the baseboards, it's the correct height for the platforms as well. So I might do a video on making platforms. Obviously, I've got to cut them to length and width and then make the sloping down, platform height, and then it slopes down. So I've got all that to do. I'll probably make a video at some point. Kurt, here is your request. Wrong controller. And so I'd say that's a long train. I normally run 4 coach trains, but that's a 5 coach train, so I'd say that qualifies. Oh, George, that reminds me, what's that new red loco? Aha, that's something else I have to talk about. And I shall talk about that later, so I shall leave you in suspense a little bit longer. I hear groans. About that, but all in good time. We have plenty of time today. We've got 35 minutes-ish left. Finishing about 6 today, because obviously Grandma came to visit. She might be still here, actually, but she said... I was talking to her for about maybe 45 minutes, and she said, you don't have to cancel your stream, you can do your stream. So, thank you. Well, basically, she didn't mind that I was going off to do my stream because I was talking to her before. I hadn't just said hello and gone up here. So, thanks, Grandma, if you're watching. Where was I? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that new red loco soon. That's next on the list of things to talk about. I actually have 2 new locos that are coming, although one of them, like the HST, isn't staying. The one where the 66 is the worst, yeah, that's because this is a 1080p webcam, but it's been dropped to 720 by StreamYard and possibly a bit more by YouTube. So, yeah, this one will look slightly worse. And I also mentioned in Tuesday video that I really need to get 4K webcams, because then if it gets dropped down to 1080, it's higher end of 1080 rather than lower end of 1080. Kurt's going to get track cleaning wagon soon. Yeah, I might do. I might get the old triangle one where it's just a cloth and it rubs on it. I think that might be a good idea for me. Although I don't know. I either need the Hornby one with the abrasive pads, because that's similar to the Pico one, or I need the old triangle, which is apparently quite good. Jaden has not been in, Pete. He's going to the cinema with friends between 3 and 6. He told me that in a comment section somewhere. Last YouTube short I did comment section. He said that earlier. So he's not going to be in today. Have you got requests you want me to do, Pete? While you do that, I'll quickly talk about the new red loco. So the new red loco I have is this. I have to wait for some seconds while I get it out. So I can actually couple the thing together because it's slightly magnetic as the drawbar. The camera I wanted to use has gone off. This is another benefit of using webcams. I don't have to worry about keeping phones charged. I don't have to worry about keeping phones charged, and I also don't have to worry about them going offline randomly. Because it'll be the internet that goes offline, not the cameras. So we'll either have all or none. Give me a moment. Camera has gone offline. Give me a minute. Now, I don't know if anyone was here at the start of the stream, but you may experience a sudden random comment flashing on the screen because I have to put it in the tripod and that makes it a bit funny. So sometimes, like at the start of the stream, if you watch this in the replay, then it flickers comments on and off like that, which is a bit annoying. Please don't do that. Yeah, so at the start of the stream, you might have seen the comment that I showed up on screen, or accidentally showed up on screen. You might see that spazzing. You might have seen it going off screen. I'm having difficulties with this. Come on. Go in the tripod. I need you. Right, let me just check I can still show comments on here. Yes, I can. That is good. Right. Back over here. That camera's just gone really fuzzy for some reason. Why has it done that? Yeah. Interesting, Kurt. Just look up a couple of tutorials. It's quite easy. You just make an account and then you add a title, description, add some details and some photos, and it's not too bad. But yeah, I missed out on your HST, George. Yes. I kept it temporarily because I was doing, buying a faulty engine, fixing it up, and then sell it on for a bit of profit thing again. That's my new engine, by the way. It's not going to short out this track, don't worry, because the controller's off. That's my new engine. I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but yeah, just look up a couple of tutorials, make an eBay account, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I had a HST power car. It'll be in a short I did a couple of weeks ago called, like, what on earth is this HST power car pulling? It was just a power car. I might have said this before, but I buy non-working or engines that might just need a service off eBay for a lower price. Then I service them up, replace any spare parts, and service them up and fix them up, and then I sell them on just for maybe £8 to £10 profit. And basically, that's to help me advance my layout. It could help me buy ballast. It could help me buy spare parts for my engines, which is what I've been doing with that money at the moment. It's been helping my railway tick on. Been a little bit more funds apart from birthday and Christmas. So effectively, that's what I've been doing. Bought HST power gas for like 23 quid. Sold, did it up, serviced it, added some spare parts that it needed, and then sold it on for about 30. So what, £2 or £3 profit? So yeah, not too bad. Pete missed out on my HST. Oh dear, by a minute. Sorry, not by a minute. He missed it by a bid. Yeah, that's the only thing about eBay. I could set it to buy it now, but I'm just not fond of setting it to buy it now, really. But yeah, so by doing that, I get a couple of pounds to help the layout progress tick along. But also the person on the other end, obviously, if it's somebody from my channel that buys it, then obviously they'll know they're getting a good quality loco that's going to work for years to come, that's been serviced properly. If it's somebody not from my channel who's going to buy it, then they'll think, I'm a bit unsure about it. But then when they get it in the post, they realise, oh, this seller was really honest. It really was a good runner. And then they might come back to me later. So, just a little bit of money to help things along. I do it on my mum and dad's eBay account. So they already set it up and I just utilise that. George, a series I would like to see, flipping OO gauge trains. You might have to ask Sam's Trains for that one. I'm sure he'd like to throw his Tango and his 1361 out the window. I'm sure he'd love to do that. Maybe you could ask Sam's Trains to do that. That'd be quite interesting. But yeah. Anyway, new engine. This is a Marklin engine, so it's a German one. It works on 2 or 3 rail because it's die-cast metal, by the way. There's no sort of separately fitted parts that I'm really going to damage. As you can see, there's a plunger there underneath, so it can either work on 2 or 3 rail. Obviously, I don't have 3 rail. The only reason I know this is because if I connect one pickup to the tender wheels and one to there, it runs, and obviously one there and one there, it runs. So that's my new loco. I'll tell you a brief story about it in a second. It's a Marklin loco produced roughly in the 70s and 80s. It is from Germany, so it's the DBR 031055, and its class is an 03.10 or 3.10 or 3.10 or 03.10 or however you want to say it. I'll just call it an 03.10 because that's how I think the Germans do theirs. I think they have it's like a 146.2 is one of their electric freight / passenger engines. So they say all the numbers separately. So, I just call it a 3.10. This is my uncle's, actually. It's not mine. So my uncle obviously knows I like trains, and he says, actually, I've got some trains. I've got a train or two back at my dad's house that I think, well, back at either hidden away in his house or back at his dad's house that, you know, he had as a child. So he's given me this. He says, you can have it, you can use it, you can abuse it, you can take it apart and fix it and make sure it's running properly, which is exactly what I've done. And he said, use it, abuse it, take it apart, and then when you're fed up with it, you just give me it back. So it says, use it until you're fed up with it. So if you're watching, Uncle Lee, thank you very much. It's a lovely little thing, actually. And it's got working headlights, although they are very dim because it's an incandescent bulb. And you can only really see if you whack the controller right on full, but then, of course, it derails and goes too fast. It's HO gauge, so it will be slightly smaller. Yes, it'll be slightly smaller than OO. As you can see there, the diesel is a little bit bigger, but although the smoke deflectors take it up, so you know, it's a really nice thing, and it's, you can't really hear that. Try and do it over here. You can't really hear that it's metal because I've stuffed it full of foam to quiet down the noise. So that was a loco that my uncle's lending me, or giving me a long-term rent, if you like, although I'm not paying any money for it. In fact, I'm helping him by dismantling it and make sure it's working. So yeah, that was my uncle's loco. So yeah, that was the new loco. And a bit later, I'll talk about the new loco I've got to fix and to sell on, which is a Class 45. That's the only bit of information you're getting for the moment. Interesting, Kurt. You know, I could do videos on that. Getting trains, fixing them and selling them. That's what you meant about flipping OO gauge trains. Yeah, flipping, selling them on. I know what you mean. Just at the moment, I've got a backlog of videos I've got to make. I've got to make an announcement about my 250 subscriber special. I've got an announcement to make about early videos on my channel because some of them won't be visible for much longer. What else have I got to do? I've got to make a really long and labor-intensive video called the muddy mess of model railways today. That's like a documentary style video I've got to make. I've got to make layout updates. Obviously, I've got to do ballasting. So, you know, sometimes it's just easier to service the trains and sell them on. But at some point, I will do a series like that. How long do you think I will keep it? The Class 45 or the loco my uncle's given me? I don't know. Yeah, I might do. Obviously, I can wait to fix them and do it in a stream. Yeah, that's always an option, isn't it? Mix it up a bit. Yeah, I think I'll do that. For now, because I've got so much work ballasting and making videos and making, you know, them long videos I've just talked about and announcements and stuff like that, I think I'll reserve mainly servicing for now for streams until I get more ballasting done and get those videos filmed and edited and uploaded. So, yeah, I think I'll do them in streams, but, you know, in maybe 2 or 3 months, I will start doing, you know, regular videos. Yeah, like 1 a month, like you said there. So in the future, I will certainly do something like that, just not imminently because, obviously, of those things I've just said. Pete says, ooh, I would watch that. Yeah, I could do a live stream. It's coming between Friday and Saturday next week. So I could service it up there. But I might do a video. We'll see. Pete, have you got a request you want? I'm aware I've been sat here talking for a long time now, so I think I should get some trains going. Pete, have you got a request? Any loco, any rolling stock, as long as it is a long train like the title suggests. You cut out on that point, haven't you? Yeah, there we are. Maybe we aren't. I don't know what's wrong with this Class 47. I think it needs a look at. I think the wheels need cleaning. I think some dried, uncleaned off T-cut has got onto them. Not sure. We'll have to see. I think the problem with... Can't shut me drawer. There we are. I think the problem with the camera that keeps going offline is that the rubber is like, well, the rubber of the vice that it's in, because I couldn't be bothered to get my tripod out, is causing the touch screen to activate. So it's making it think somebody's touching it when somebody's actually not. Which is a bit annoying. So I'll stuff a towel in there and clamp it and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, I think that's working. I think that's working. Yeah, just about. Let's have a look here. How are we doing? This camera, yeah, it's a bit dodgy as this one today. It's not normally like this. Still working. It seems a bit laggy on the main computer. Kurt says, I'm doing a similar thing but not filming it with bikes. Just fixed my first bike to sell on for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Very nice, Kurt, doing a similar thing but just with bikes. Nothing wrong with that. I think this camera's working now. I think it just had a moment. Yeah, this is a benefit of not having phones. When the Wi-Fi slows down, they slow down, as you can see there. And now it's gone altogether. So eventually I'll get webcams. Must be the Wi-Fi that's slowing down. I don't know what's wrong with it. Pete says, honestly, don't mind. Surprise me, George, as I can't think. Okay. How about we have my new locomotive? '47's warmed up. You can definitely tell that's going faster. I do not know what's wrong with it. Just not happy today, I guess. Again, another benefit of using webcams. Everything just works. There we are. Yeah, it's not as fuzzy anymore. You see, the Wi-Fi's got better. Yeah. Okay, so Pete, we're going to do 2 blood and custard coaches, 1 Pullman coach, containers, and obviously the new loco, because I think you'd all like to see the new loco running again. As you can hear by the crunching of that Class 47, you can tell why I need to reduce the height of the ballast to stop the wheels, the outer surface of the wheels on the rails rubbing against the ballast, because some of the ballast is actually higher than the rails in some cases, which is not what you want. So when you hear this one running on the second radius line, you won't hear that and all the crunching sound. So yeah, on here, when obviously as you heard with the 4F and the 9F earlier, there was no such crunching, but because the height of the ballast is higher than the rails at some point, the wheel hits it and causes that crunching. So apart from track cleaning, that's why you need your ballast height to be lower than the rails. Pete Clark is happy for containers. That's always good. And despite this being a German loco, it's got like a NEM coupling style to it. You know, it's like a NEM coupling, but it's got a lump in the middle and it hasn't got the hook. So it is still reasonably compatible with our British stuff. Obviously, you've got 1 hook instead of 2. So we shall set that one going. And as you can hear now, if I stop the other train, you can't hear any crunching noise at all. That's why I need to sort the ballast out. And if you're wondering why the Pullman car isn't lit up, it's because this controller is doing some fancy PWM. So although the train is going quite fast, the overall power that's going to the track on the second radius line isn't the same as the amount of power for the same speed that's on the fourth radius line. So if you notice the Pullman car flickering and it's not been turned on, then that's why. Some fancy PWM thing that results in it flickering. I mean, I could put it on full wave. I don't know if that'd make it. Oh, it already is on full wave. Half wave, I doubt that'd make a difference. Oh, yeah. Half wave actually lights it better than full wave. That's odd. Normally on the third radius line, which has the R9, which has the 900 power control, which has half and full wave, normally half wave is dimmer and full wave is brighter, which is odd, but on the safety minor, H&M safety minor, half wave seems to be better for lighting. It's flickering again because the second radius line is probably my dirtiest track and in the most dire need of cleaning. And also it's that this controller is, its PWM isn't quite as smooth as maybe that one or that one. And I said about petroleum jelly on the pickups as well. Kurt, I'll get your train back up and going now. Pete Clark says it looks good. Good. Obviously, you can't see the light-up headlights. The engine has to be going much faster for that. And in fact, half the light spills out onto the underneath of the track because it's not in a shield or anything. The filament bulb is just stuffed in the front end with a bit of acrylic to spread it out to the two lights. So it's not the best. Might replace it with an LED and then take it out when I give it back to my uncle. I don't know. I might have to nick an orange LED off my granddad because I've got red, but not orange. If we just make this camera big for a second, I'll see if I can get the headlights to show up. I'll lift it off the track. Yeah, there you are. Obviously, at the speed the engine was running, which is at this speed, which is a nice speed, and if I go any higher than that, then it gets too fast and only right at the end does the bulb light up enough for it to be visible. I mean, the fastest I'd want this engine going is about that, and it's still too dim, but at speeds for long trains, that's too dim, so there you are. Full wave is even brighter. I don't know if you can see, but the Pullman carriage is lighting up now. That's also odd as well. When it's running with the engine on the track, half wave seems to be better for lighting, but when the engine's lifted off the track and it's running, full wave was most definitely brighter. I don't know what's going on, and I'm not about to take the controllers apart to see why either. Let's go. I'll see if I can get it going a tiny bit faster so you can see the headlights. Do you know what I should do for one running session? I should do a lighting extravaganza. The firebox light in my Flying Scotsman, the headlight on the 03.10, and then the lighting in all three of my Pullman coaches when they get fully converted. Yeah, the lighting, maybe just visible there. I'll put it on for the next run. Pete Clark says, nice. Thank you very much, Pete. You can just about see it, but it's not really worth it running that fast. It'll just damage it. And of course, it's not mine, it's my uncle's. Just run surprisingly well over points and stuff like that. It took a lot of getting to work that. The pickups were very odd. The way of getting power to where it needed to be, quite odd as well. And also because it had that metal body shell and metal chassis. It's difficult to get it to run quietly because it just resonates and is really loud. So I've stuffed that full of foam, sponge actually, stuffed the body shell full of sponge and oiled the hell out of it, and works fine. Obviously not over oiling, but just it needed plenty on. It's got metal gears. Everything in it is literally just metal, and that's a good thing. And the final thing to talk about for today's stream is I have been on eBay again. Like I mentioned earlier about buying and selling with that HST power car. I have been buying something else now. I have bought a mainline Class 45. It's called the Manchester Regiment. It's a mainline loco. Unfortunately, actually, it doesn't. The mainline diesels, because they aren't just the massive chassis blocks sandwiched together like you have in the J72s, for example. I know, Kurt, you've had two of them at least, haven't you? You know, the two blocks of metal sandwiched together. With this one, it's more like a traditional diesel mechanism, like that's in the 47. That's got the Ringfield motor and then the bogie at the back that does picking up and the bogie at the front that does picking up. It's more traditional like that. So as far as I know, reading through various forums, the mainline diesels like the 45 and the 56 don't suffer from the split axle problem, so that's good. And it's more of a pod motor, similar to the Ringfield of the Hornby diesels and the Hornby tender-driven steam engines, and also similar to the pancake motor of the Lima engines. So I've bought a mainline Class 45. It's in BR blue with yellow ends, and obviously, well, not obviously, instead of just being, headlights at either end, it's got the head code built into the nose. So some Class 45s, for example, it's sort of got the end like the 47 here. It's got the headlights. Some have just the headlights at the front, but the 45 I've bought has the headlights and like the head code, which is interesting. So BR blue with yellow ends and the head code. So I'm gonna have a go at fixing that up. The reason why this one, it was about £27. I'm gonna try and sell it for 35 because that's about the going rate for old diesels like that. So I'm going to service it up, make sure it works, and if you want to bid on it, then you can. Should be a good project to fix up. I've never done a mainline diesel before. But I am indeed looking forward to servicing that main... Wow, that was a voice crack. I am looking forward to servicing that Class 45. I am going to get a Class 45 in future, but as I say, I've climbed the 3 peaks in the past, 4 or 5 years, separately, not all in one. And I want to try and get the one called Whernside or the one called Pennygent. It's a Bachmann one, which should be a bit nicer than the mainline ones, but if I do end up having to get a mainline one, then I know how to fix it. Plus also, with me buying and selling different makes of engine, different manufacturers of engine, different types, different mechanisms, different eras, I get practice in fixing engines, and obviously the more times you practice something, the better you get at it, and the more times you service something slightly different or with a revised mechanism, and the more times you have to figure something out, the better you become at figuring things out. So that's another reason for why I do the servicing. I think that 47 needs its wheel cleaning again. It's got some dried tea-cut residue on it, which is a bit annoying. Oh yeah, that's racing off. And it's decoupled the brake coach. Let's sort that out. Yeah, it's the brake coach is the one with the plastic wheels, Kurt. Don't know why. Must just be Martin at my model shop. Must have nicked metal wheels off it for some. I'm not really bothered because we got the 47 and then 3 coaches for 60 quid, which is banging if you ask me. That is a really good price. I mean, the loco itself, if you'd have tried to buy this on eBay, it'd be about, what? 40 quid, 35 quid, and the coach would have gone for about 15 each. So, saved quite a bit there thanks to good old Martin. I reference Martin quite a lot, but that's another thing I've just noticed. You notice the exposure and the focus changing, so it went dark and then the camera sort of went pulsed as it refocused. With webcams like this, the lighting is fixed because I've got it on. It has a ring light. Well, it's not a ring light. It's like an oval shaped webcam with the camera in the middle and then the light. With the camera in the middle and then the light just round that. So the lighting's fixed and it's fixed focus as well. So as you can see there as well with the ballast, causes the train to jump up and down a bit and struggle. So that's another reason why I need to do some more work there. Tell you what, I've enjoyed this stream. It's nice to see the trains spanning all 3 cameras at once, because normally I've got all 3 trains on 1 camera. If you're lucky and they get in sync with each other, you've either got them split across 2, or you've got one half in here, one half in here, and then the back end of one over here. So it's good. I'm liking this massive train thing. I'm going to give the trains 2 more laps and then I'll start bringing things to a close. Bit short today, as I say, as my grandma came. Thank you for saying I could do the stream, by the way, Grandma, if you're watching. I know you do watch. Yeah, it's sometimes nice for me as well, Pete. Obviously, I get to talk to you lot, and sometimes it's nice to not be rushing about every 10 minutes, swapping over 3 lots of trains and making sure I've got people's request night. Sometimes it's nice just to set some nice trains going, sit here, read your comments, and then just watch the trains go by and just start explaining things. Sometimes it's nice. I feel better when I tell you about things because I'm sharing my own knowledge to you lot as well. So I enjoy them as well. So, class 47, here you go. You see it got bumped a bit there as well. And here comes the 03.10. I could just call it an 03, don't I? Because the 03.10 is like a stronger version of the 03, I believe. And obviously, this is a 47/8, but I don't call it a class 47/8, do I? When Kurt requests that to run, he don't say, "Oh yeah, I'd love the 47/8 on, please." And when I say, "Here's your 47/8, Kurt," I don't say that, do I? It's like if I had an A2/2, I wouldn't call it an A2/2. Obviously, if I had an A2, I would, but I haven't got an A2, so there's no reason for the extra description. So I suppose I don't call it a 66/0, do I? I don't call it, I don't call it by the extra. I should just call it an 03, because the 03.10, the 47/8, I don't call it that. It's just unnecessary detail. Anyway, we had 2 perfect stops at the end, which is unusual for me. I actually reached for the right controller, and yes, they are all off, so that's good. Might as well set that on half. Well, it already is on half wave, and that one is as well, so I don't end up throwing them into next week when next ever time I try to run a train. So yeah, I've enjoyed today's stream. Some good requests. We've only had 2, I think. 2 from viewers and 2 of my own. But as I said to Pete, it's nice just to sit, watch the trains go by. Nice to see the trains spanning all 3 cameras for once. And it's been good just to sit back and explain some things. So yeah. Would just like to say thank you everyone for watching today's Sunday stream. It really has been lovely reading all of your questions and your comments in the live chat, and thank you for all your messages, as they are my favourite part of these live streams. It is really just the sit here, being able to watch trains for an hour and 15 minutes, or about an hour and 10 in our case, and also just being able to take requests live from you is really why I do enjoy these streams so much. Something I forget to mention every week as well, I forget about the people who were actually watching it on replay. So if you have stuck to the end and watched it on replay, then I'm going to give you a word now to put in the comments if you watched it on replay, just to see who has actually watched it on replay, just for fun. So if you're watching this stream right through to the end and you're going to comment, then your code word to say, hey, look at me, I've watched it through to the end, is Agatha. Do you know why I've picked Agatha? Because that's the name of this Pullman coach here. So if you've watched it right through to the end, code word Agatha. I don't know why I'm doing that. I just felt like doing it. I will hopefully see you on Tuesday for another video, and that video is an important announcement about early videos on my channel. So most early videos on my channel before I came into the loft, and some videos after I came into the loft, such as reviews and stuff like that, and maybe servicing, they're going to be going away, and I'll explain all of this in great detail in Tuesday's video. So Tuesday's video is an announcement talking about why some or quite a lot of my videos are going to disappear, some impacts that will have, and some things you just need to be aware of. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't enjoyed the stream, and if you could share a video or 2 to friends or family, then I do appreciate that. Helps me along in the old subscriber race against Kurt and Pete, and also helps to promote information and messages and stuff like that out there as well. Would just like to say thank you all once again for joining the stream. It has been great to have you here, and I do hope to see you again very, very soon. Again, quick reminder, if you have watched this all the way through to the end, then code word Agatha in the comments, and if I see any Agathas in the comments, then thank you very much for watching to the end. Thank you very much to Pete and the model shed who have been in today. Jaden, I know you're watching it on the replay, so thank you very much, Jaden, for saying you're going to watch that. I know you're out listening with your friends. So thank you to Pete, who's been in today, and thank you to Kurt, who's been in today. No, you've both been in pretty much for the whole stream. Not as high a view count today, but really, I'm not that bothered, because obviously we have a few people who haven't been in. So, unfortunately, the last thing I have to say to end every Sunday stream is take care and bye for now. See ya on Tuesday.